Happy Friday, everyone. We got a fun little work set for you guys today. It's going to involve a little bit of dumbbell work. So before we get to that, let's talk about our warm-up. Sumo good morning for 5. Dynamic triangle, 3 to 5 a side. Single leg RDL, 3 a side. And a windmill of 3 to 5 per side. Finishing off with a sumo squat of 3 reps at a 3-1-3. So just really kind of warming up the legs, opening up that T-spine a bit with that triangle, and just taking some time to see how things are feeling today, right? So we'll hit that up for 2 rounds, giving yourself that chance to really open some stuff up. Then we're gonna move down to the bottom piece here. We're gonna start warming up our movements and getting ourselves ready with the dumbbell. So we're gonna work on a little complex that's gonna come in handy for our work set. We have a dumbbell deadlift with a 3-second eccentric. So that lowering phase of the dumbbell is gonna be taken at a 3-second tempo. After that, we have a dumbbell hang power clean. So you'll take that from the knee into that power position, and then you'll squat for 1. So we've basically just broken up a full squat clean. Because right after that, you're gonna do 1 to 3 full squat cleans. So you're gonna take the dumbbell from the floor, come all the way through that full clean motion, and you're gonna do anywhere from 1 to 3 reps of that. So that's up to you, depending on what you need for your dose. After, we're gonna work on some jumping skill. We're gonna work on the jump drop plus rebound for 3 to 5 reps, and then you're gonna hit that up for 2 rounds and work on either finding the loading that you'd like to use or just using this to get yourself ready and work on some skill, getting those movements as solid and clean as we can. The workout is very straightforward. We have 5 rounds, 6 dumbbell squat cleans, so full squat cleans, 6 total reps. So if you're using a single dumbbell, it'll be 3 per side, or 6 alternating, or if you have 2 dumbbells, you'll be using and just going for 6 total count. After that, you'll take one of those dumbbells or a kettlebell, depending on what you have. They could be 2 different loads, all right? And you're gonna swing for 15 reps. So then you'll hit that up again, hit those cleans, hit that swing, and rock it. So we're gonna have some fun with this today. It's gonna be a little bit of hinging work, a little bit of explosive hip, all right? So please don't be surprised if that second round of cleans is a little more challenging than the first, because those hips are gonna be a little bit more gassed. Let's get you guys ready to go. Let's warm you up and we'll have some fun today. All right, let's kickstart off our day with a nice big stretch up overhead. Big reach. Those shoulders may be a little tight after yesterday's handstand adventure, but let's scratch our back and reach through the elbow. Big stretch up overhead. We'll scratch our back on the other side. Big stretch. Oh, big reach up. And we'll take it all the way to the floor. Touching those toes, we're gonna walk with the shins. We'll come down, frame of foot. We'll step back into our lizard. Nice and square in those hips. We're gonna take the inside hand up, and we're gonna rotate forearm to the floor. Come back up, and rotate forearm to the floor. And one more time, big stretch up, and rotate. Good. Taking back up overhead, plant the hand, step back into our down dog. Reaching those hips, setting those shoulders, just giving those shoulders a chance to open up. We'll come back into the plank, step the other foot up. Inside hand again is going to reach all the way up to the sky. We'll rotate forearm to the floor. We'll come back up. We'll rotate. And come back up. And rotate. And back up. We'll plant the hand. We'll step back. Hips are high, setting those shoulders. If you like to walk your heels out, you can, or just settle into that upper back a little bit. And we'll come back into our plank. Pushing through those shoulders, we'll tiptoe those feet up. Roll ourselves up, big stretch. Little reach. Little reach. Come down with the arms. Let's rock and roll. So, if you like to do a little bit more gentle warm-up, perhaps you notice your shoulders are a little stiffer than you thought. Maybe throw some cat-cows, thread the needle, scat push-ups, whatever you need in there. Pause the video, take it down. We're gonna start moving through that next phase of warm-up for you guys. Okay, we're gonna kickstart off our day priming up those hamstrings. So I'm gonna turn profile, but I'm gonna get my feet into my sumo stance. So in the sumo stance, I'm gonna stand up nice and tall. I'm gonna set my glutes, I'm gonna set my ribs. I'm gonna pull my hips back into that nice good morning, and then stand up nice and tall. Pulling into that hinge, I get that nice smooth position. Weight is through the midfoot, my big toes are down, and then I stand up nice through those hips, and I'm really, again, focusing on that pull back of the hip to get that body coming forward, and then stand up nice and tall. So we're taking our time in that hinge just to really work on priming up those hamstrings. We're not trying to bring our chest to our thigh, we're just trying to find engagement through our back half of our body. After that, we get ourselves into our sumo stance again, and we're gonna turn our toe and turn our toe. We're gonna show our upper body a little bit of love today. So our hand is gonna come to the thigh, we're gonna reach our arm up to the ceiling. Setting that shoulder, we're gonna pull back, and we're gonna work on opening up that T-spine a little bit as we work on this nice hinge. So slowly coming back into that hinge, drawing that hip into the back heel, and then slowly lowering that body down. So you'll notice that my angle from my hip to head doesn't change as I lower down. So I'm not crunching my side on this side or on here. We're trying to keep that body long and keep that hip traveling back. Take your time with that. It's a beautiful way to open up your hips, your hamstrings, your adductors, all that good stuff, along with working on that T-spine. After the dynamic triangle, we're going to come back down to the lower half. We're going to work our single leg RDL. Again, just using it to prime up our hamstrings a little bit. We don't need to load this at this moment in time, but if you'd like to load it, you can. Keep it relatively movable and light though. Toes down, hips are square. We're going to set that rib, set that torso position. And just like our sumo good morning, I'm going to pull my hip back into that good hinge, making sure my hip stays square and my shoulder stays square to the front. And then I'm going to stand up nice and tall. So I'm really trying to keep those hips straight ahead and square, especially as I pull those hips back and hinge. I really have to focus on staying square and trying not to rotate. Right? So working on that good positioning as we go down. We're going to do 3 per side. Again, this is about priming up our hamstrings, so don't rush, but take your time. If you want to add that 3-second eccentric in, nothing wrong with that. It's a great way to feel the positioning and work on finding that midfoot balance and that foot contact. After that, we're going to come back to our sumo stance, and we're going to work on our windmill. So again, we're going to take some time to show that upper body some love. So I'm going to get my arms set up overhead. I'm going to reach my other arm gently down towards the floor. I'm going to pull my hips back and rotate at the low rib as I slowly take my body down towards the floor. We slowly come back up and work on maintaining that good shoulder position as I go down towards the ground. So this shoulder position stays the same. Even though it's going to point that way when I'm in my rotation, it's pointing that way because my torso has rotated, not because my shoulder has rotated. So please keep that in mind and only take that body down as deep as you can maintain that position through the shoulder. Our last exercise is our sumo squat. So I'm going to turn profile again so you can see my hip and back angle. My feet stay in the same stance that they were just in for my windmill in that sumo stance. I set the ribs and hips so they're nice and neutral. I'm going to pull the hips down to my heels, trying to keep my body as upright as I can, my feet flat, and my torso tall. So I really want to focus on pushing those knees out hard, but not losing that big toe contact. So we take it down, feet stay flat, knees go out, and then I stand up nice and tall. So take your time with those sumo squats. We have a nice tempo of a 3-1-3 tempo. Take your time, work that tempo, and work that good quality position. Quick recap, we have a sumo good morning for 5, dynamic triangle 3 to 5 a side, single leg RDL for 3 a side, windmill 3 to 5 per side, and a sumo squat for 3 at a 3-1-3 tempo. 2 rounds, take that down, work that strong, have some fun, check your body out. Maybe you're a little tighter in that upper body than you thought that today, maybe not, but it'll give you a good chance to give yourself that little run through and a checklist on your body. Pause the video, rock it, come back. We're going to work on our dumbbell complex to get us prepped for the work set. All right, our dumbbell complex is going to kickstart off with a broken down squat clean. So we're going to start with the deadlift, and we're going to work on a tempo down from the top position. So what we're going to do is we're going to stand over top of the dumbbell or dumbbells. I'm going to get my hips set and ribs set so I can pull back into that good hinge. Lowering my body down to the dumbbell, I get set and tight, I push push through those feet, and I stand tall, opening up my hips and getting in that good position. From here, I'm going to take 3 seconds to get to the floor. So it's going to take me 3, 2, 1 to wherever I feel comfortable, and I'm going to stand up nice and tall. In that 3 seconds, we're just taking this extra amount of time to make sure that my weight stays through my foot, my midfoot, and my back stays nice and straight. Okay, so really enjoy that tempo. Use it to work on position. From there, we have a hang power clean. You can take this from between the thighs or to the outside. It's up to you. I'm going to show you from the side so you can see where the dumbbell goes. So my feet are kind of under my hips. They have to come in a little bit if I'm taking it from the side. But what we're going to do is we're going to take the hips to the knee, the dumbbell to the knee by drawing the hips back slightly. We'll take it down. We're going to push through those legs and drive into that power position. So we're using those legs, those hips, to get that dumbbell moving and get some speed on the dumbbell so I can pull myself into the power position. So again, hips draw back slightly, hand to the knee, push, and we keep that dumbbell nice and close to the body. You'll notice that it doesn't swing out, it stays nice and close to my body position without hitting it. Once I'm done my hang power clean, I'm going to set myself up in that squat stance. I'm going to get nice and tight, and I'm going to work on one smooth front squat. So I'm working on that receiving position of my full squat clean, keeping the dumbbell up in that good front rack position, drawing the hips to the heels, and those knees tracking the toes. So what I'm going to do after that is bring all those movements together. So I'm going to work on a full squat clean. That means we take it from the floor and then we drive all the way through that nice mid position and pull into that full squat. So what it's going to look like, we take the dumbbell down to the floor, or whatever the floor happens to be. I push through those legs, extending my knees and hips, drive, and pull into that good full front squat. Bring my feet back under if I need to, and I do it again. Take it down, push, and I pull into that nice full front squat, whatever that happens to be for you. When I'm doing this, I want to make sure that I'm hitting the depth that challenges my edge and allows me to execute a squat well with good posture and position. So really focus on that key point and really focus on bringing all 3 of those first movements together into one fluid flow. After our squat clean, we're going to work on some jumping skill, and that's going to be our jump drop, just to get some explosiveness in those legs and work on some good skill and absorption. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring our feet underneath of our hips. We are going to come up onto our toes. Then we're going to drop. So that's the drop portion. I'm landing in that power position with my knees out slightly and my feet nice and flat. I'm also going to add the rebound in. So the jump drop to rebound is just adding in that extra jump. So I come up on the toes, nice and balanced. I drop, jump, land with a good absorption of that position. So I want to make sure that I'm landing, absorbing into that power position again. Stand up and get ready for that next rep. So I'm not trying to rush those reps or do a bunch of reps in a row. I'm doing each individual rep as a single and individual movement. So we have 3 to 5 reps there, working on some good jump skill. Don't worry about trying to jump and touch the ceiling. We're just trying to get that rebound and land smooth. As a quick recap, we have a dumbbell deadlift for 3 at a 3-second eccentric, dumbbell hang power clean for 2, dumbbell front squat for 1, and then we're going to bring it all together for a dumbbell squat clean for 1 to 3 reps, finishing off that round with a jump drop plus rebound for 3 to 5 reps. 2 rounds of that, or as many rounds as you need to get yourself prepped and ready for the workout, and get yourself primed, because this is going to be a fun little time. Pause the video, take that down, and we'll talk about our work set. Alright, we've made it to the work set. We got 5 rounds. We have a dumbbell squat clean for 6, and we have a dumbbell or kettlebell swing for 15. We've gone over the dumbbell squat clean quite a bit, but I'm going to show you a few different variations of how you can do this in the workout. So what we can do in the workout, we can take it from the side, or we can take it from between the knees. So one of two things we can either do is multiple reps, so 3 reps on one arm and then switch. Or if you want to alternate, you can work on that alternating squat clean, and you'll just go back and forth for a total count of 6. If you have 2 dumbbells, you'll just do 6 reps with 2 dumbbells and just take it down as is. So those squat cleans get a little spicy, but there's only 6, so it shouldn't be so bad moving right into those kettlebell swings. Now the kettlebell swing, pretty straightforward. If you have a kettlebell, you'll hold by the handle. But if you have a dumbbell, there's multiple ways to hold this dumbbell. You can hold it by the handle, you can hold it by the bell, or you can hold it single hand and just half the reps per hand. If you want to do 8 and 8, you can, just adding 1 rep to balance out the arms. It's up to you. So, a couple different options in here. Regardless of how you hold the kettlebell or the dumbbell, the swing movement does not change at all. It stays the same the entire time. So what we want to focus on is that good hinge through that body position. So we get that nice smooth hinge, hand stays above the knee, and it's almost like we're jumping in the air, but I'm keeping my feet flat and keeping my body solid. So I'm maintaining that good hinge. As I come in, body's in that nice deadlift hinge position. I drive through my legs and my hips, opening up tall, and allow that energy to carry the dumbbell overhead or to whatever range you feel comfortable. That's super, super important to keep in mind, that we want to make sure that we're taking it only as high as we feel comfortable in terms of what we can control. And depending on how we hold the dumbbell is really going to decide on how high that kettlebell swing or dumbbell swing goes. So what we have again as a recap, we have 5 rounds, dumbbell squat clean for 6, dumbbell / kettlebell swing for 15, repeat for 5 rounds, call it a day. So it's going to be a fun little work set. It's going to be fast-ish, but those legs are definitely going to feel a little burn going from that swing, from the clean to the swing and vice versa. Now something to keep in mind, you guys, we are going into a nice hinge pattern quite a bit today. So we really do have to focus our attention on how we put the dumbbell down and that entry into the swing. So we want to make sure that we're really maintaining a tight midsection, solid glute, and a nice straight flat back. So as always, you guys, if you need to break things down, work for quality, have tons of fun with this one, and we'll see you tomorrow for one more workout to close out this week. Have a great day, we'll see you later, and we'll have some fun today.